I didn't see you there. My name's Andrew Serb, and I'm a professional musician. So I've been playing this guitar for probably 17 years now. And I think I went professional and made the leap probably about 5 years ago. So I got into Irish music, it was a good couple years ago, but originally I was an Irish dancer. And when I was young, probably about 5 to 7 years old, I saw this movie that was called Top Hat, and it was this awesome tap dancer. It's just great. His name was Fred Astaire, and I said to my mom, I want to be, I want to do that. I want to do tap dancing. That's totally awesome. It looked really cool. And she says, okay, well, we'll see what we can do. So he goes over to Grandma on my dad's side, and that's the Irish side. And she says, Marley, this is my mom's name, you should sign him up for Irish dancing. He's Irish after all, even though I think back in the day, if you look at pictures, I look as, more Chinese than ever, like 100%. So she signed me up for Irish dancing, and originally she wanted to sign me up with this local school called the Mullane Irish Dance Academy, I think it was at the time. And there's not a lot of boy Irish dancers, and so she, figured, oh yeah, it'll be an easy in right into Irish dancing. You'll jump right in, have a good time. And they actually rejected my mother's application and didn't let me in. So they said they had too many boys and they were good to go as a school, and they didn't want us. They didn't want me. So that's what happened over there. So my, Mom, I want to do Irish dancing. Sure, I'll try it. It's close enough to tap dancing. That's cool still. So she goes to this school called the Trinity Irish Dancers. And from there, they took me right in, and I danced for years. I did it for years, going up, traveling all the time, doing, mini tours with our school. And then eventually went into the company and did some professional Irish dancing, actually, with tours and, all that jazz. So that was great and everything. And so I was always around the Irish music, and then, I just had tinkered on the guitar. My brother was actually the one who got a guitar originally, and he didn't really play it that much. I played it more, he didn't really like that much. But eventually I just stole the guitar altogether and put it in my room and started playing. Just playing, rock and roll, just whatever kid wanted to play with AC/DC and all that, whatever you can do. So yeah, and then it came to a point where I was, doing the professional Irish dancing, and one of my good friends was a flute player. He was a very good flute player. His parents were off the boat from Ireland, and he played Irish music, and I'd just run into him at different competitions or different Irish events where they'd have dancers and musicians. And then he says, hey, you should come along, you play the guitar, you should just come to one of my shows and check it out and talk to my school. And he played with the Irish Music School of Chicago. And that's where I went, and there was this one fiddle player, a girl, who was just gorgeous. She was really hot. And coming from an Irish dancing, the world, it was rare to see, a musician girl. It was just knocked dead gorgeous. So I said, hey, Kevin was my buddy, he was a flute player. I said, I should start playing music, because there's some hot chicks here. And so I joined the Irish Music School of Chicago and picked up really quick. The owner of the school and the fiddle teacher, he took me under his wing and said, I'm a fiddle player, you're a guitar player, but we can make this work. And traditionally, the best, in my opinion, the best Irish guitar players are the ones who learn from melody players, which is, when you're doing the backing, you're holding the ground down while the melody players are doing what other people would consider the singing part of music. So I just, just keep that rhythm going, and then the melody player works around that. So that worked out really well. He took me under his wing, and he let me join this group that they had, which was called the Groupie Kjol, and that is in competition, it's a music competition where they have a bunch of different instruments that get together and they play as a big band. Maybe I guess you would consider, it's not as big as an orchestra, a little bit bigger than like your typical 5-piece band. And we went to Detroit to go and compete in what's called the FLA. And that's the Irish music competition locally in the Midwest. And so we played that, learned a lot. We actually took first place there, and then that was the qualifier to go to Ireland and compete over there. So we went over to Ireland in Tullamore and took second place, which was the first Americans in Irish music history to take top 3 in world competition music. So, and from there, it just took off. Being a professional musician, one of my favorite parts of it is probably the traveling. You have to like to travel to be a professional musician. I've been to a lot of places. It's hard to say what my favorite place is, or you know what? It's probably easier to say what your least favorite place is compared to what your favorite place is. I was recently on a tour called the Women of Ireland, and it was a 2-month tour. We traveled in a bus, by plane. We went all over the place. It was all East Coast America. Love traveling in America, actually. It's a beautiful country. My favorite place on that specific tour was Charlottesville, Virginia. And it was on the border of Tennessee, and it was just my kind of town. I got along well with the local people and met this one guy who was, he was in the Army, and I needed to go to a music shop, and there was the music shop was far away, and I got to talking to this guy. I was like, yeah, I could use some more strings for my guitar. I had some more picks. I was looking for some supplies, and so were some of the other musicians. And he's like, oh yeah, no problem. I've got the day off. We'll just go there, and then we'll go to lunch, and I'll show you the town and what the coolest places were.
Is this your
And it was great. It was a cool town. It was really classy. It was real nice. My least favorite place on that tour, and probably in the whole entire wide world, is probably Kentucky, specifically Lancaster, Kentucky. Not my favorite place. We were there, and we rolled up. It was in January, and it was 2 inches of snow, and the whole town shuts down. We're a bus full of a whole tour of hungry people. We go to a local restaurant, and they say, oh, we're closing. You can't stay here. So they kicked us out. We couldn't go there because of the 2 inches of snow, so we went to the gas station to go get some food where everything was expired. Being a musician, you're not going to get rich doing it in the Irish world, I would say. I mean, a lot of people do very, very well. Some people don't do so well. It's good money in most cases. When you're a professional musician, you do a 2-hour gig, and you have the time of your life. You get your food's paid for, your drinks paid for, your accommodations are paid for, your travels are paid for, and then you get paid on top of that, and it's really nice. And when you get something like that, you can't compare it to sitting sitting in an office and getting paid a salary. Let's say you get a salary, and or if you're a nurse and you get $50 an hour. Well, in your $50 an hour, I've made twice that in one show, plus everything else is paid for. But there's good things and there's bad things when you're away. You're always on the road, and you're always demanded of to perform at your best and do better. Every show, every CD has to be better than the last. But for me, specifically, it's not about the money. If I wanted money, I would go to law school. I would be a lawyer. I would be a doctor or a manufacturer, whatever, construction worker. To me, there's a real richness in meeting the people that you associate with, in the sense of you have the same interests as that person. When I get together I play with a lot of different musicians all the time, and I get along with all of them. And I have the best of friends that are going to be there for life. I have friends all over the country, which is really cool. So whenever I plan a vacation, I'm not going to do this tour. I'm going to take some time off for myself and go and play the music in my own setting that I like to play in, which is, I'll go and meet up with my friends. We'll go to a bar and play all night, or even a house sessions. Those are the best. It's not always about the money. It's about the passion. It's what you want to do. It's what you like to do, so you do it. Yeah.
Hey, thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
no problem,
guys.
guys. Good luck. Good luck. Cheers. Yeah.